The allure of ghost stories and human psychology. From a young age, we are exposed to ghost stories. From family tales and friends to horror movies on the screen. The fear and chills when thinking about another world where spirits exist are not just products of our imagination. They reflect deep human fears about death, uncertainty about the future, and things we cannot fully understand. But what if what we believe about ghosts is entirely untrue? The video we are discussing today starts with a shocking statement. According to the Bible, ghosts do not actually exist. Definition of ghosts. When people think of ghosts, the image that often comes to mind is that of spirits of the deceased returning to the world of the living. These ghosts are imagined to be on a mission, perhaps seeking revenge, finishing unfinished business, or simply wandering restlessly. This concept has been deeply embedded in our collective consciousness through centuries of folklore, countless movies, and even personal stories passed down from generation to generation. It's a narrative that fascinates and terrifies in equal measure, drawing us into the mystery of what lies beyond death. But what if this widely accepted idea of ghosts isn't rooted in reality? According to the Bible, a text that has profoundly shaped religious and cultural beliefs for millennia, the spirits we think of as ghosts do not exist, at least not in the way we imagine them. The Bible offers a starkly different viewpoint, one that challenges the common portrayal of ghosts as the restless souls of the departed. Instead, it suggests that what people often perceive as ghosts are something else entirely, urging us to reconsider our understanding of the spiritual realm and what truly happens after death. The story of King Saul and the Witch of Endor. The story of King Saul and the Witch of Endor is one of the most intriguing and cautionary tales found in the Bible, often regarded as a ghost story with deep moral implications. It's a narrative that weaves together themes of desperation, disobedience, and the dangers of seeking forbidden knowledge. King Saul's life had taken a tragic turn. Once anointed by God and guided by the prophet Samuel, Saul's disobedience had led to his downfall. He had failed to follow God's commands on multiple occasions, and as a result, God had withdrawn his favor from Saul, leaving the king to face the mounting pressures of war and leadership without divine guidance. Isolated and desperate, Saul found himself in a position of utter despair as he faced the imminent threat of the Philistine army. With no answers from God, either through dreams, prophets, or sacred lots, Saul decided to take matters into his own hands, an act that would seal his fate. In a moment of utter desperation, Saul turned to something he had previously condemned: necromancy. He sought out a medium, a witch from Endor, who was known for her ability to summon spirits from the dead. It's worth noting that Saul had earlier expelled all such practitioners from the land in obedience to God's laws, which strictly forbade communication with the dead. But now, driven by fear and the absence of divine counsel, he chose to violate these very laws, disguising himself and visiting the witch under the cover of night. When Saul requested the witch to summon the spirit of the deceased prophet Samuel, she initially recoiled in fear, suspecting a trap. After Saul reassured her that no harm would come to her, she proceeded with the ritual. The spirit that appeared, described as an old man wrapped in a robe, was immediately recognized by Saul as Samuel. However, the interaction that followed was far from comforting. The spirit foretold doom, confirming that Saul's kingdom would fall to David, and that both Saul and his sons would perish in the impending battle. This story has long been cited as evidence of the existence of spirits in the Bible. After all, here we have a direct account of a dead prophet seemingly returning to deliver a final grim prophecy. But the story's deeper meaning lies in the debate that it has sparked among theologians and scholars over the centuries. Was this truly Samuel's spirit, or was Saul deceived by a demonic entity? Many theologians argue that the spirit Saul encountered was not the real Samuel, but rather a demonic spirit in disguise. Their argument is rooted in the Bible's consistent condemnation of necromancy and the belief that God would not allow a faithful servant like Samuel to be summoned through such forbidden means. They suggest that this was a final test of Saul's faith, one that he tragically failed. By seeking out forbidden practices, Saul opened himself up to deception, and the entity that appeared may have been a demonic force sent to further lead him astray. This interpretation paints the story not just as a ghost story, but as a profound lesson in the consequences of disobedience and the dangers of turning away from divine guidance. Saul's tragic end, foretold by the Spirit, serves as a stark reminder of what happens when one abandons their faith and seeks answers through forbidden means. The story of Saul and the Witch of Endor is not merely a tale of a king who sought to speak with the dead. It is a warning about the perilous path of disobedience and the deceptive nature of evil. The story also prompts us to reflect on the nature of fear and desperation. In Saul's case, his fear led him to abandon his principles and seek out answers at any cost. This fear-driven decision led to his ultimate downfall, emphasizing the importance of maintaining faith even in the darkest of times. It's a lesson that resonates beyond its biblical context, offering a timeless warning about the consequences of letting fear override our moral compass. In essence, the tale of Saul and the Witch of Endor is a multi-layered narrative that continues to captivate and instruct. It's a story that goes beyond the question of whether spirits exist, delving into the complexities of human nature, the struggle between faith and fear, and the consequences of turning away from divine guidance. It challenges us to consider our own responses in times of desperation and reminds us that the path of obedience, though difficult, is ultimately the one that leads to true wisdom and peace. The Bible's view on ghosts. To grasp why the Bible firmly rejects the existence of ghosts, we need to delve into the psychological and social reasons behind this belief. For many, the idea of ghosts offers a sense of comfort in the face of loss. The thought that the spirits of loved ones linger, watching over us or communicating in some way, can be deeply reassuring. It gives a sense of continuity, suggesting that death is not the end, but merely a transition to another form of existence. This belief can ease the pain of grief, offering solace that our loved ones are still with us, even if only in spirit. However, the Bible takes a starkly different stance. It warns that trying to contact the dead is not only futile, but also perilous. According to biblical teachings, such practices are deceptive, leading people away from their faith and opening doors to harmful spiritual influences. The Bible suggests that these attempts to connect with the afterlife can expose individuals to dark forces, misguiding them from the truth and potentially putting them in spiritual danger. The rejection of ghosts in the Bible isn't just about denying their existence. It's about protecting believers from the risks associated with engaging in forbidden spiritual practices. Concept of spirits in the Bible. The Bible offers a complex understanding of the supernatural, one that doesn't entirely dismiss the existence of spiritual entities, but frames them in a very different light than the popular concept of ghosts. Instead of referring to these entities as ghosts, the Bible uses the term spirits to describe them, distinguishing between two very different kinds, angels and demons. This distinction is crucial to understanding the biblical perspective on the spiritual realm. Angels, according to the Bible, are messengers of God. They are divine beings created with the purpose of carrying out God's will. Their roles are varied. Sometimes they bring messages of hope and guidance. Other times they are sent to protect and defend. Throughout the scriptures, angels appear in moments of great significance, offering comfort, delivering warnings, and even intervening in the lives of people to ensure that God's plan is fulfilled. Their presence is often described as awe inspiring, filled with light and the glory of God. On the other hand, demons are depicted as the antithesis of angels. These are not beings created to serve God, but rather spirits that have fallen from grace. According to biblical lore, demons are the followers of Satan, the rebellious angel who defied God and was cast out of heaven. As a result, demons are portrayed as malevolent entities, constantly working to undermine God's creation. They seek to deceive, corrupt, and lead humanity astray, often masquerading as something benign to lure people into spiritual peril. This dichotomy between angels and demons is central to the Bible's narrative about the battle between good and evil. While angels are there to guide and protect, demons are seen as forces of darkness, aiming to disrupt and destroy. The Bible's emphasis on these two types of spirits serves as a reminder to believers to remain vigilant, discerning the true nature of spiritual encounters. It's not just about acknowledging the existence of supernatural entities, but understanding their roles and intentions according to biblical teachings. Origin of demons. To truly grasp the nature of demons as depicted in the Bible, it's crucial to delve into their origins, a story that is as fascinating as it is chilling. The Bible presents demons not as mere abstract entities of evil, but as the spirits of a particular race of beings known as the Nephilim. The tale of the Nephilim is steeped in mystery, blending themes of divine rebellion, forbidden unions, and a catastrophic curse that forever altered the spiritual landscape of the earth. The story begins in the earliest days of humanity, in a time when the world was still young and the lines between the divine and the mortal were not yet firmly drawn. According to the book of Genesis, there was a period when the sons of God took notice of the daughters of men. These sons of God are widely interpreted to be fallen angels, beings of immense power and knowledge who, in their rebellion against God, chose to descend to earth and take human women as their wives. This union, however, was anything but natural. The offspring of these unions were the Nephilim, giants, who were described as mighty men of old, men of renown. These beings were not just physically imposing, they were also spiritually corrupt, embodying the defiance of their angelic fathers and the inherent sinfulness of humanity. The presence of the Nephilim on earth was seen as a grave abomination, a violation of the natural order that threatened to taint all of creation. As the Nephilim grew in number and power, their influence began to spread across the earth, leading humanity further away from God and deeper into sin. Their existence contributed to the increasing wickedness that ultimately led to God's decision to bring about the Great Flood, a divine judgment intended to cleanse the earth of its corruption. However, while the physical bodies of the Nephilim were destroyed in the flood, their spirits did not simply vanish. According to apocryphal texts like the Book of Enoch, the spirits of the Nephilim were cursed by God to become demons, evil spirits doomed to roam the earth, no longer possessing physical bodies but still capable of great harm. These spirits are described as restless, filled with a relentless hunger to corrupt and destroy, forever seeking to spread their influence among the living. Their existence is a haunting reminder of the consequences of defying divine order and engaging in forbidden practices. The story of the Nephilim and their transformation into demons serves as one of the Bible's most potent warnings about the dangers of the supernatural. It suggests that interactions between the divine and the mortal, when done outside the bounds of God's will, can have devastating consequences, not just for the individuals involved, but for all of humanity. The Nephilim were born out of such an interaction, and their legacy is one of destruction and chaos that continues to echo through the spiritual realm. This narrative also sheds light on the nature of demons as portrayed in the Bible. Unlike angels who are depicted as servants of God, carrying out his will with righteousness, demons are beings of rebellion and corruption. They are the spirits of those who were never meant to exist, beings born from the breaking of divine law. Their very essence is tied to defiance and disorder, making them perpetually antagonistic toward God and his creation. Demons, as the spirits of the Nephilim, are relentless in their pursuit of chaos. They seek to deceive, manipulate, and lead humanity astray, capitalizing on human weaknesses and fears. Their influence is pervasive, manifesting in various forms throughout the Bible, from possession to the subtle whispers of temptation. The Bible consistently warns against engaging with these spirits, emphasizing that such interactions can lead to spiritual ruin. The existence of demons, therefore, is not just a theological concept, but a profound moral lesson embedded within the biblical narrative. It serves as a reminder of the fragile balance between the divine and the mortal, and the catastrophic consequences that can arise when that balance is disrupted. The story of the Nephilim and the origins of demons underscores the importance of adhering to divine order and the dangers of straying from the path set by God. In essence, the origin of demons is a tale of forbidden knowledge, divine wrath, and the enduring consequences of rebellion. It is a story that has shaped the understanding of evil within the Judeo-Christian tradition, providing a framework for interpreting the spiritual battles that are believed to take place both in the heavens and on earth. The spirits of the Nephilim, now demons, continue to serve as a stark warning about the dangers of defying divine will and the perilous nature of tampering with the supernatural. Biblical example of demons. Despite the Bible's firm stance on the non-existence of ghosts, the belief in spirits and apparitions persists across cultures and generations. It's a belief so deeply rooted in human experience that it almost feels instinctual. But why do so many of us continue to believe in ghosts, even when faced with logical explanations? One reason lies in the way our brains are wired. Take, for example, the psychological phenomenon known as pareidolia, the brain's natural tendency to perceive familiar patterns, like faces and random stimuli. It's the reason why we might see a ghostly figure in the shadows or a face in the clouds. Our minds are constantly trying to make sense of the world around us, and sometimes this means finding patterns where none truly exist. This tendency to see the familiar in the unfamiliar can easily lead to ghostly encounters, especially in settings where our imaginations are already primed to expect the supernatural. But it's not just about pattern recognition. Personal experiences play a significant role in sustaining belief in ghosts. Many people report encounters with what they believe to be spirits, whether it's the feeling of a presence in an empty room, the sound of footsteps when no one is there, or even seeing a loved one after they've passed away. These experiences are often so vivid and emotional that they leave a lasting impression, making it difficult to dismiss them as mere tricks of the mind. Yet, the question remains: can all of these experiences be fully explained by science, or is there something more at play? While psychology offers some explanations, such as the power of suggestion, sleep paralysis, or even heightened states of emotion, there are still many aspects of ghost phenomena that elude complete understanding. The line between the psychological and the spiritual is often blurred, leading us to wonder if, perhaps, there are things we simply don't yet comprehend. In the end, our belief in ghosts may be less about what we see and more about what we feel, our hopes, fears, and the desire to connect with something beyond ourselves. It's a belief that taps into the very essence of what it means to be human, constantly searching for meaning in the unknown. Conclusion. In the end, the debate over the existence of ghosts is less about proving whether they're real and more about examining the beliefs that shape our understanding of the world. The Bible presents a viewpoint that contrasts sharply with the ghost stories we see in movies and folklore, urging us to look beyond the surface and consider deeper questions about life, death, and the spiritual realm. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, it's important to approach the topic with curiosity and discernment, allowing yourself to explore different perspectives while staying true to your own search for truth.